Okay. So this, what we're going to do, as most of you already know, is going to be a study program for the next 1 week. And I'm very grateful to Shanti Yajnik for Shanti Y. This is your version, for inviting me to to give this series of teachings here. One, and then during my last visit, particularly how I could feel the seriousness, the sincerity, and the heart there with Shanti in making the request. So we all should be feeling grateful to Shanti Yajnik for making this possible, that I'm meeting here. And to speak honestly, we meet and we may think that, oh, this is something which we can make possible every time. Even from my side, I like to meet you, I can't meet you. Right? So because even meeting has involves tremendous karmic connection. Without that, even the meeting doesn't happen. Right? Okay, so let us all thank Shanti Yajnik for making this possible. Another thing that I like to share with you is that after me accepting this invitation, then what came to my mind, most importantly, is to see how much I can share with the audience here of whatever learning that you have done of Buddhism, emptiness, bodhicitta, the four seals, and so forth. How to design your personal practice, how to design your personal daily practice. That part is so important. Many, of course, say just attending one lecture on emptiness, or just attending one lecture on the wisdom of emptiness and business, corporate world. Also very important. You keep on learning something. But in the end of the day, we need to have something, we need to design something for our daily practice. That part is so important. And eventually, particularly those of you who are going to be regular for the next 1 week, we will see the importance of the daily practice. And it doesn't matter how long you're going to meditate. Say 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day. And I even go to the extent of saying even 10 minutes a day. And for those people who still complain, even 5 minutes, no compromise beyond that. 5 minutes is last. So that way, what I'm saying is that see if we could spend like out of 24 into 60 minutes, how much time we can dedicate on our daily practice on the basis of study and reflection. Learning and reflection must be there, without which your practice is going to be very boring and it's going to be very repetitive, and eventually it'll become like a tape recorder being played. So there's no point. So this, whatever little practice that you are doing, making it a point that this practice is of great relevance, benefit to you, then it must be boosted, it must be enhanced, and enhanced by the help of the constant study and reflection. So this is what came to my mind the moment I received the invitation from Shanti Yajnik. Okay. Of course, the next 1 week is going to be like the studies, guided meditations, and then some instructions on purely on meditation. All these things are going to be mixed. It's going to be quite heavy, in any practice that you may do. So 3 things to be kept in mind. One is the refuge field. The refuge field. Refuge field meaning the source of inspiration. Say, when I was in school, I have a friend in America. When I was in school, and my friend used to ask me, what do you want from America? So when I was in school, I was so crazy about physics. And because of which the only gift that I would ask from him is the poster of Albert Einstein. Big poster of Albert Einstein. So why I'm saying this is that when you are interested in physics, automatically the inspiration is going to be Albert Einstein, Niels Bohr, and so forth. Likewise, for us who likes to seek a meaning of life, let's forget about Dharma. Let's say meaning of life. To give a meaning to your own life, there must be some inspiration. So the inspiration should be those people who experience the greatest of the genuine happiness, who are the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. So just think of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as the refuge field, meaning, to make it very simple, is a source of inspiration, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And particularly Buddha Shakyamuni and His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the real Buddha who is available today, with whom we use the same earth to walk on, right? So we are very fortunate. So visualize them, and then not just, so this part you must have heard from so many other teachers, so many books, refuge field. But one thing that I like to make it so vibrant here, so important here, is that as you visualize these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, don't visualize them as in a mechanical way. Just Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, okay, first step. No. Visualize Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. How you visualize the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, that is so important. So you visualize the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as though like you are a very young girl, age 5, age 6, young boy, age 5, age 6, coming from school, bullied by the elder boys and girls. Then you come home, and then your mother is just piercing through your eyes with love. Your mother is bound to embrace you with love and saying that, don't worry, I'm there to give you protection. So this should be how you should reflect the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. How should you should visualize all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. That they are just piercing their eyes through your eyes with love and affection to bless you, to inspire you, to teach you, to guide you, and with embracing with full love and affection, with care. That is one part. This is so important. How you visualize. That is more important than what you visualize. One. Then number 2 is the refuge, the Bodhicitta field. Bodhicitta field means your 2 kind parents. Even if you have tough relationship, difficult relationship with your parents, it doesn't matter. So in the course of learning about Bodhicitta, we'll come to know that the parents play a very important role, right? So even if you have difficulty with the parents, I don't think that you have any difficulty. Should you have, don't worry. Just for the time being, just keep in mind that you visualize your 2 parents on the 2 sides. All your family members are around you. Then all sentient beings, leaving none aside. That is so important. Okay, this is what you visualize for the Bodhicitta field. Now, how to visualize? With the second part, Bodhicitta field, what to visualize and how to visualize. How to visualize? Same. Now here, you should think of yourself as the mother, and then you see your parents and all sentient beings as your children. And how you as the mother, in your eyes, if your children, they come being bullied by elders, and then coming to you just for, solace, then what is your reaction? So much of love, care, attention, embracing, and total attention. This is how you should visualize the Bodhicitta field, number 2. Number 3 is so important. Number 3 is what for you are practicing Dharma. What for? Number 1 is the refuge field. Number 2 is the Bodhicitta field. Number 3 is what for you are practicing this Dharma. What for? Right? What for? So here I'm going to give a very quick insight, and then eventually, over the next 1 week, we'll come to know this part. We need to explore this part more. What for we are practicing the Dharma, right? What for is finally, let's say, I want to become Buddha, or I want to be free from samsara, right? To make it very short. And the detail we will go in this very class. So the purpose is, I want to be freed from miseries altogether. I want to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. Whatever is your goal for the time being, whatever is your goal, let's say that is my goal, that is the purpose of this practice. But how is this happening? Is it that this world is samsara? Is it that this world is samsara, there's another world where you just escape, and then you reach there, and then you are in nirvana? No, this is not the case. Samsara and nirvana is the same thing, one and the same thing. Samsara and nirvana is one and the same thing. But don't say that, oh, samsara is nirvana, nirvana is samsara. Don't say that. Why I'm saying that samsara and nirvana is just one and the same thing is that, imagine, so say this is such a beautiful flower. In fact, I was so enthralled by this beautiful light up there, the strip, beautiful light. So this flower, look at this flower, and this is so beautiful. And then we put on the glass, we put on the spectacles, and are we looking at the same object, or we are looking at a different object? We are looking at the same object, right? We are looking at the same object. But then the glass is so dirty. The glass is so dirty. Object is the same. The glass is so dirty. You put it on, and then you look at it, you will see the flower so dirty. Right? So one person is looking at it and it's so clear, so clean. Say there are two persons. One person with spectacles, so clean, and another person, the spectacles so dirty, right? So person A looking at it and seeing the flowers, so beautiful, so clean, so beautiful. And person B looking at it is so dull, is so dirty, right? These two people, are they looking at the same object? They are looking at different object. They are looking at the same object. The same object is seen when looking at through one lens, very clean lens, is seen so clear, so beautiful, so fresh. From a different lens, the same thing is seen so dirty and so gloomy, right? It's the same thing. Likewise, so what we are seeing, the same object as clean, is seeing nirvana. And the same thing you are seeing with your dirty lens, you are seeing dirty, we are experiencing samsara. So samsara and nirvana is not different. It's just the same thing. How you see that? How you see that when seen through a lens of a very dirty glass, the dirty lens is samsara. And then seen with a very clean lens, this is nirvana. Now look, in our case, in practical terms, flower, what is for the flower? We have the world. The world is what we interact with. And this dirty lens or the clean lens, it is our mind. Our mind is the one which is like the lens through which we are interacting with the world. And our mind is so defiled. You agree with me or not? Our mind is so defiled. You know, somebody just scolds you or somebody just passes a remark and you become so agitated, so angry. Anger is there. We're so rich in anger. We're so rich in all the mental defilements. So this mind is sullied by all these mental defilements. So we are looking at this world through the lens of this defiled lens of the mind. So how can we expect to see the world is clean when we look at through the dirty lens of the mind? So that is samsara. So the moment your mind is cleansed, you look at the world is very different, it's so pure. And the perfectly purified version of the mind is the Buddha's mind. Through that lens, you look at things and you see everything as divine. So that is the final achievement of Buddhahood. So now the purpose is finally that this lens, very dirty lens through which we are looking at the flower and seeing the flower is very dirty. This lens, can that be cleansed, or it cannot be cleansed? It can be cleansed, which means that this lens is, the true nature of this lens is not dirty. The dirt, the filth is temporary. The lens through which we are looking at it, this lens, so the eye lens, the spectacles that you buy from the shop, right? From the shop, and then it's very dirty. It happened to be so dirty. You look at it, it seems so dirty. Or maybe you worked in the kitchen with your dirty hands, then just leave some mark on the eyeglass, and then you look at it, you see things dirty. So this glass, is it intrinsically dirty? No. So how do we know that? We can remove the dirt. Likewise, our mind, these mental defilements which defile the mind and through which we are interacting with the world, even this mind can be removed of the mental dirt. We can remove a mind of the mental dirt, right? Okay. When the mental dirts are removed, then the true nature of the mind becomes so vibrant, is so clean, so pure. Say, how many of you have you ever tried Bisleri or mineral water? That's so clean. We all have tried. And then tell me, this mineral water, it came from where? From some other galaxies? Or from the same dirty water? The same dirty water that is treated. That is treated in the factory. And then the clean water came out of that. So this clean water which we are drinking, it is by no means that is different from the dirty water. The only thing is that the dirt, the filth, the pollutants, they were removed from this water. You agree with me or not? Right? Through the treatment, they were all removed. When these were removed, then you don't have to introduce a clean water from outside. The dirty water itself, the true nature becomes vibrant. It becomes manifest. The true nature of the water, it becomes manifest. It becomes so clean. It's not that the true nature is dirty and then you have to introduce another clean water from outside. No. The clean water is already there, but in a dormant state. So that is temporarily being overshadowed by the mental defilements. The moment the defilements are removed, you don't have to introduce the clean mind or the clean water from outside. It's already there. The true nature of the water is clean. The true nature of the mind is clean. So our job is to eliminate this mental defilement, and then this mind, the true nature of the mind, which is so vibrant and so luminous, that will become manifest. So that is the purpose of our practice. Keep that in mind. Point number 3. The purpose of the mind is to unravel the hidden treasure of the Buddha nature. Unravel the hidden treasure, the final purity, intrinsic purity of the mind. To unravel that. Okay, one secret of this to unravel this hidden treasure. One secret of the hidden treasure. It is like, say, Aranigarjuna, 1st century AD, great Indian master Aranigarjuna, in his Bodhicitta Vivarana, commentary on Bodhicitta. In his Bodhicitta Vivarana, what he said, he gave such a beautiful explanation of this hidden treasure of the Buddha nature. What he said is that the true nature of the mind that we have, what the omniscient mind of the Buddhas, what the omniscient minds of the Buddha are, and what the ordinary minds of the sentient beings are, there's no difference between the two. But then we see such a contrast, such a stark difference between the two. In the case of the Buddhas, the mind is total omniscient. The Buddha's mind is so omniscient, is so pure. And that if you study the nature of the Buddha's mind, there's nothing which will not make you enthralled. Because the Buddha's mind, it is like the light. Sun's light. It is like the sun's light or sun's rays. Say, in the mornings, the sun is there, and anything which is directed to the sun, automatically the light falls on it. It's not that the sun's light is limited. No, it is not limited. It pervades in all 360 degrees. It pervades everywhere. Likewise, the Buddha's mind is like that. It pervades every single atom of the universe. It pervades every single atom of the universe. So this is how, if you become Buddha, you can benefit all sentient beings. Because sentient beings, they are made of billions of molecules. They are made of billions of atoms. Every atom the Buddha's mind pervades. So wherever the sentient beings are, say the Buddha Shakyamuni, he appeared in India. Then he started teaching here in Rajgir. Simultaneously, while he was giving teaching here in Rajgir, in Amaravati, he was also teaching Kalachakra. So simultaneously, in other world systems, there are episodes. In other world systems, Buddha, in the manifestation of that corresponding world system that the Buddha was teaching. So how is that possible? That a same person be able to benefit all sentient beings instantly at the same time is because this, as Aranigarjuna pointed out in Bodhicitta Vivarana, or the commentary on Bodhicitta, that our mind and the Buddha's mind. Buddha's mind is like the candle. Buddha's mind is like a very bright candle, which is not obscured by a vase. Whereas our minds are the bright candles which are obscured by the vase. Say you have exam tomorrow. How many of you have appeared exams in your life? We all appear in exams, right? So say it's very intimidating to sit for exams, and then particularly tomorrow's exam, and then everyone is busy that night for preparing for the exam, and then all of a sudden, if there is no light, what are you going to do? Then you have to complain to your mother. Oh, but there's no light. I need to have light. And okay, if you ask me, where can I go for a light? Then I may say, there are two rooms there, room A and room B both. If you need light, the light is in both rooms, room A and room B. So you go there to room B. Room B is so dark. And then you go to room A, room A is so bright. And then I ask you, why did you specifically choose room A and not room B? Because room B is dark, but then there's light. Then you say, no, it's totally dark. There is light. The light is obscured by the picture, is obscured by the vase. Right? There's a candle inside, but it's obscured by the picture. Someone put a picture there. Although the light is there, but the light is not seen from outside. In the case of room A, the light is there and it is not obscured by the picture. So tell me, what is the difference in terms of the power of the illumination? Power of the illumination of light A and light B. What is the difference? No difference. But then why light B, if it has the same potential, if it has the same power of illumination as that of light A, why is that not seen by others? Why? Because that is obscured by a picture. You getting it? Okay. So our mind and the Buddha's mind, in terms of the potential to pervade, in terms of the potential to see, to be omniscient, there's no difference. Buddha's mind is the one which is freed from the obscuration, from the hindrance of the picture. And our mind, which is so bright as that of the Buddha's mind, it is not freed. It is temporarily obscured by the picture. So, Aranigarjuna, in Bodhicitta Vivarana, he said that our mind is like the light obscured by the picture. And the Buddha's mind is the light which is freed of the picture. And then if you don't believe, If you don't believe that in room B there is a light, then he said, punch a hole. Punch a hole from any direction, at any direction of the picture, and from that very hole, the light will beam forth. Right? And then, if you really want to see the whole thing realistically, you just break the vase. What happens? Instantly, the light will pervade in all 10 directions, 360 degrees, the way the light A does. You getting it? Okay. Okay, now the purpose for us is to disclose this, finally to disclose this hidden light that we have, hidden by the mental obscurations. You're getting it? Hidden by the mental obscurations, picture-like mental obscurations. Okay. What are the mental obscurations? Twofold. What are the mental obscurations which obscure this beautiful light? Twofold. Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. Okay. So, I may deliberately bring some technical words. Don't feel intimidated by these words. Anytime I use these technical words, make it a point that you understand it, because every time I use these words, the next moment I try to explain it in simple terms. I do that. Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. Okay, now, afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations, let me quickly explain as to what these two are. Some of you already know that. The first one, I like to give an analogy. The analogy is the analogy of garlic. Many of us don't eat garlic. Many of us even don't like to smell garlic, right? Say somebody unknowingly smashed the garlic in your mug, and then you can't even bear the smell of a garlic, and then you are shocked to see that someone has smashed garlic in your mug, and then you discover the person, and then you complain, and the person felt so sorry for you. And the person, what can the person do? The person will remove the garlic and wash your mug, right? Okay. So this garlic, the solid garlic is, okay, solid garlic. Remove the garlic and wash the mug. And after washing the mug so well, then you look at the mug is so clean, right? But you smell it, you could still smell garlic. You agree with me or not? Okay. So the solid garlic is like so the garlic overall is like the mental defilements which obscure your mind. The garlic, which you don't like, is the mental defilement which obscure your mind. So what obscures your mind? The garlic like what obscures your mind? So this garlic has two elements. One is the solid part, and the other one the smell. After removing the solid part, making it so clean, visibly speaking, it's so clean there. No garlic at all. But the smell is still there. Likewise, the mental defilements, the gross part, the gross part is known as afflictive obscurations. Solid garlic like the mental defilements is known as afflictive obscurations. And after deleting the afflictive obscurations, still we can smell the garlic. Likewise, after deleting the afflictive obscurations, still there's a smell like remnants of this garlic-like mental afflictions. So this smell like remnants is of the mind, is of the mental defilements, is known as the cognitive obscurations. Okay. Now, if you want to learn still more, what exactly is afflictive obscurations? If it is the example-wise is fine. The solid garlic and the subtle stains or the smell of this garlic. Solid garlic is equivalent to what? Afflictive obscurations. And the smell is equivalent to what? Is analogous to the cognitive obscurations. Now you may ask me the question, what exactly is afflictive obscurations in your mind? That is threefold. What exactly constitutes the afflictive obscurations is threefold. One is all our afflictions, very disturbing emotions, all disturbing emotions such as anger, attachment, jealousy, competitiveness, all these disturbing emotions, they fall under the category of afflictions. One. Then number two is the corresponding contaminated karmas. Corresponding contaminated karmas. Number two. Then number three, the active seed of the first two. Active seeds of the first two. Okay, how many of you are angry now? No one is angry, right? But how many of you had experience of anger? Right? Okay, after going back home, again anger can come. How many of you, there's a tendency? Very likely all of us, including myself. Right? Okay, so which means that although anger is not prominent, although it is not in a manifest state now, but the next moment it can arise. So for that anger to arise, we need to have the potential or the seed for that anger. While the anger is not manifest at this moment, but the seed should be present there. The fact that anger arises the next moment is indicative of the fact that we have the seed of anger today or this moment. You getting it? So this seed, which is not in the form of a manifest anger, manifest attachment, but in the form of active seed, a seed alive. This seed is the third category of afflictive obscurations. So afflictive obscurations which defile our mind, which obscure our mind, this obscuration is consisted of three parts. What are they? Afflictions, contaminated karmas, and the active seeds of the afflictions and the contaminated karmas. You getting it? Contaminated karmas. Okay, what constitutes the contaminated karmas? What exactly is contaminated karmas? Right? Say, I'm very angry, and then I show a dirty look at you. Right? I'm very angry, and I show a dirty look at you. So this showing a dirty look at you, this is action. This is an action which is conveyed to you to say that I'm not happy with you. So this action is karma. And this karma, this action, because it is not healthy, it is contaminated. It is contaminated by the bad or the afflictive negative emotions. Getting it? Okay. So afflictive obscuration. Then the cognitive obscuration. Cognitive obscuration. What exactly is cognitive obscuration? What exactly is cognitive? Okay, this is a little technical. Make it a point that you pay special attention to this. I may not touch it the next 6 days. Right? Okay, the cognitive obscuration. What exactly is cognitive obscuration? So the analogy is what? Analogy that we're given for this cognitive obscuration is what? The smell of the garlic. Okay. Now what exactly is the cognitive obscuration? Which we could feel. Right? Okay. How many of you have studied emptiness? Or how many of you have listened to discourse on emptiness? How many of you have listened to discourse on emptiness? And how many of you have not listened? You have not heard about emptiness before. Anyone? Okay, don't worry. So basically the concept here is that emptiness means that what we see and what the reality is, there is a discrepancy between the two. Discrepancy between what you see and what is the reality out there. The reality and appearance. Right? Say for example, if you come to get a job in Tibet House in Delhi, right? And then if the person is very lazy, right, getting up, okay, I don't want to say this, maybe, okay, say if the person is very lazy, and then at home, you want a glass of water. Mom, would you mind bringing me a glass of water? So this is the person, right? The person cannot actually go to the refrigerator, get water or whatever. The person cannot do that. Okay, such a lazy person. Then the person comes to get a job in corporate. Not in Tibet House. Tibet House is not a corporate. Okay, a corporate in a company where the person expects you to be 24 hours on your toes. so alert, so active, so, not at all lazy. And then, for the job interview, do you think that this person will say that, okay, now where's your CV? Bring your CV. The interviewer asks you, bring your CV. Do you think, okay, please take it from my table? What is it? Do you expect that person to say this? No. Yes, sir. Right? So at home is not the case. At home, please take it from my table. It's there. But then there, for the interview, the appearance is very different. Appearance is very different. The reality is, take it from my table. Right? But the appearance-wise, oh, sir, here. Right? Oh, ma'am, it's here. Right? So there's a discrepancy between the appearance and the reality. Right? So now in the long course of time, we will see that how the person appeared during the interview is not the reality. So later on we'll discover that. So this person is empty of how he appeared or performed himself on the first day. This person is empty. Right? This person is empty. The reality is that he's empty of how he performed on the first day. You getting it? Okay. So in short, to make it very quick, the reality and how things appear to us, these two are contradictory. There's a huge discrepancy between how things appear to us and how things really exist. Okay. And this is so precious. Let me repeat it. Let me reiterate this point. This point is so important to discover the discrepancy between the appearance and the reality. Okay. Now you see what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm picking up a flower. And then I don't expect you to become bored of seeing me pick up the flower every day. Right? This is going to be one of the favorite examples. Okay, look at this flower. Look at this flower. Okay, so this is such a fresh, beautiful flower. Right? You're all seeing this flower? Right? Okay. You look at it, and how many of you have dreamt of being in beautiful garden, seeing flowers? How many of you have dreamt of being in beautiful garden, seeing flowers? Just raise your hands. Okay. How many of you have not dreamt of being in beautiful gardens? Don't worry. How many of you have ever dreamt in your life? All. Right? All. Right? Some people, they don't dream. But then once in a while, yes. Okay. Every one of us has the experience of dream. When you dream of somebody showing you the flower, you look at the flower and the flowers, you look at it, oh, it's so appealing. I want that flower. Right? Okay. And then, or say, you're very hungry. You are very hungry. And then, your mother or your father brings, you're very hungry in your dream. And then your father brings, cheese, olive, pizza, fresh cheese, olive, pizza to you. You are so excited. Then you take the first piece and you're about to take the first bite. And then your mother wakes you up. Before you actually take the first bite, your mother wakes you up. Okay. Then what is your response? Mom, would you mind bringing something to eat? Because you're the lazy guy. Mom, would you mind something to eat? And if the mother says that, why don't you continue with your pizza? What is your response? That is my dream. No, don't take it too seriously. Don't take it too seriously. As long as you are able to connect to the meaning, they're good enough. Don't argue with me, right? How does the mother know that you dreamt of that, right? So maybe you are saying that in the dream you may be saying that, Dad, thank you for this pizza. Then the mother got intuiting that, okay, she must be doing pizza, right? Okay. Okay. So now to solve your problem. Okay. Now with that, you will say that, oh, that is just my dream. So the moment you wake up from the sleep, you discover that the pizza you were about to eat in your dream, it was simply coming from your mind. It was not from the object. The moment you discover that, your attachment to this pizza, to this dream pizza, stops. You agree with me or not? Good. Okay. Moment you wake up from the sleep, you see that the dream pizza is empty of reality. You are getting it? The dream pizza is empty of reality. Right? Okay. In a like manner, at the moment we are seeing the Choe Ling beautiful hall, and then the Buddha statue, and the flowers, people around, and so forth. We see them as so real. If you don't believe, look at the person sitting next to you. Okay, and see if you smile or not. If you smile, which means that you are seeing the person as objectively real. Right? Okay. Because, say, in a dream, you look at a person, you wake up from the sleep, and you think of the same person, you will not smile. You think of the same person that you dreamt. When you wake up, you think of the same person, and then you will not smile, because you know that is just coming from a mind. There's nothing there to whom I should smile. You getting it? Okay. So what I'm saying here is that the moment you wake up, you see that the dream pizza is empty of being a real pizza. You're getting it? Emptiness doesn't mean that things do not exist. Things do exist, but they don't exist from the object. They all exist from the mind. This is understanding, right? And this is what we are going to study more over the next 1 week. Okay. So now the point, we are discussing about the cognitive obscuration, right? So cognitive meaning cognition. You cognize. How you cognize things. How you realize. How you cognize. How you perceive. How you perceive. How you engage with the objects. How you cognize, but precisely how you cognize things. How you know things. Okay. So this cognition, every cognition, we see that things, objects, they are so real. So real meaning, in the dream flower, in the dream, you don't see the dream flower as a dream flower. You see that as a real flower. You're getting it? In the dream, you see the dream flower as a real flower, not as a dream flower. When you wake up, only when you wake up, you see that the dream flower is empty of being a real flower. It's just a dream flower. It is empty of being a real flower. This is what you discover when you wake up. You see the emptiness of the dream flower when you wake up. Okay. Now with that in mind, just as the dream flower, why do you say that the dream flower is empty of being a real flower? Why do you say that? Anyone? Why do you say that dream flower is empty of being a real flower? It's not a real flower. And then anyone else who likes to add to that to make it even clearer.
If we try to engage with it, we can't.
The moment you try to engage with it, we can't engage with it. Very good. Okay. So one thing I'm expecting from you, you know that, you will agree with me. The dream flower is not a real flower, because the dream flower is coming from your mind, whereas the real flower is there. Something tangible. You agree with me or not? In a loose sense, if you have studied about emptiness earlier, forget about it for the time being. Don't delete them. Keep them in a separate file. Or folder. What do you call it? Folder, separate folder, right? Don't use them at this moment. Okay. Come as though like you have not listened to emptiness before. Okay. So the dream flower is seen as empty of being a real flower, because the dream flower, it is not from the object, it is coming from the subject. You are getting it? When you wake up, you see that the dream flower is coming from your mind, not from the object. In your dream, you see the dream flower is coming from the object, not from the mind. You're getting it? Okay, this flower and your mind. This flower is the object and your mind is the subject. You're getting it? Okay. If I ask this question to you, this flower, how does it exist? From the object or from the subject? At this moment, you will say that, oh, this flower exists from the object. Right? Likewise, in the dream, you think that the dream flower exists from the object or subject? No. In the dream. When you are in the dream, if I ask you in the dream, oh, this flower that I'm holding, is that objective? Is that existent from the object or from your subject? What is your response in the dream? From the object. Very good. And then your mother wakes you up, and then your mother asks you the same question. The flower that you saw in your dream, is that from the object or from the subject? What is your response when you wake up? From the subject. How? Because it is your mind which created this dream. Your mind is the subject, is subject with respect to the flower as the object. The mind is the subject. So that mind created this image of the flower. That is what is known as the dream flower. You getting it? Okay. When you wake up, you see the emptiness of the objectivity of the dream flower. You getting it? This is so important. I'm here to introduce what exactly is emptiness. I'm simply giving you the examples at this moment. When you wake up, you see the emptiness of the dream flower. The dream flower to be empty of objective existence. When you wake up, you agree with me or not? When you wake up, you realize that the dream flower is subjectively existent. It is, when you say it is subjectively existent, you are implicitly saying that it is empty of objective existence. You're getting it? Okay. Emptiness of objective existence and subjective existence. What did I say? Subjective existence on the one hand and emptiness of the objective existence on the other hand. These two are synonymous. Don't forget it. What did I say? Emptiness of objective existence on the one hand and subjective existence on the other hand. These two are synonymous. Don't forget it. In the long run, maybe on this the 6th day or the 5th day, we are going to have a meditation manual on emptiness. Manual on a meditation on emptiness. Right? For that we need this. Subjective existence versus emptiness of objective existence to be synonymous. This is so important. Don't forget it. Okay. Now the Buddha said that just as the dream flower is empty from the object side, every phenomena, not just the dream flower, everything that exists, they are empty from the object side. Everything that exists, they exist subjectively. You're getting it? You're getting it? The Buddha said that everything exists subjectively. In other words, everything is empty of objective existence. You're getting it? Very good. Okay. Now again, keeping that aside, what I did, the last remark which I made, the last statement which I made in relation to the what the Buddha said, keeping that statement aside, let me ask you this question. Look at this flower. Look at this flower. Again, look at this flower very seriously. Look at this flower very seriously. Okay. Now tell me, how does this flower appear to you? Objectively or subjectively? How does it appear to you? Okay, how many of you say subjectively? Just raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. How many of you said objectively? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, most of you are not realized beings. Only three or four beings are Arya beings. They see things as subjectively real, right? Seeing the flower to be subjectively real happens only to those very highly evolved beings. Highly evolved beings who already reached the level of the path of seeing. Who already reached the level of path of seeing, path of accumulation. What is the next path? Path of preparation. Path of seeing. Oh, Chokur swimming jumps to no more learning. I see. This is Chokur swimming style. Okay. Path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of seeing, then path of meditation, then path of. Okay, I'm at least happy that there's, at least some people in Chokur swimming who follow the proper trend, right? Not double promotion. Okay, so that's it, right? Say only those people who reach the third path, path of seeing, when they look at the flower, they see these as illusion-like, as dream-like, as subjectively existent. For ordinary people like us, we see the flower always objectively real. You are getting it? Okay. Let me ask this question again. How does this flower appear to your eyes? As objectively real? Objectively meaning is very simple. Don't complicate things unnecessarily, right? Always make things simple. Even if someone is using such a jargon, philosophical jargon, don't feel intimidated. Just be daring to ask, what does it mean by objective existence? What does it mean by intrinsic existence? What does it mean by inherent existence? All these jargons, right? You should be daring to ask questions as to what it exactly means. It simply means it's very simple. Okay, you look at the flower and see that whether this flower, it appears to me, no doubt. It's undeniable fact that it appears to your eyes. And when it appears to your eyes, does it appear as though like your mind this flower is coming from your eyes, going there to the object? Oh, no. My eyes has nothing to do with creating this. So this flower is there, and then it's from the object, it comes to my eyes. From the object coming to my eyes, and then going to the object. Which of the two? Second. Which is the second? Don't expect me to be so smart. I'm not smart, right? You should be very precise, very clear as to what it means by second.
Your eye is perceiving the object.
No, I'm not asking whether your eyes are perceiving it. I'm asking, how does this flower appear to you? Does it appear to as though like your eyes is creating this flower? Or no. My eyes is not creating it. It's already created here. Or is the seed has already given rise to this flower, and then it is coming from the object to my eyes. How? Very good. From the object to the eyes, not from the subject to the object, right? It does not appear that flower is going from my eyes to the object. No. It appears as though like the flower is going from the object to my subject. So, object to my subject, this is known as objective existence. Whereas if you see this as your mind projecting it, then this is known as subjective existence, right? How many of you have watched movie in the movie theaters? How many of you have not stepped into a movie theater in your life? Okay, so tell me, you are watching a movie here, on the screen here, in front of you, and then where is this movie coming from? From behind you, which means the screen is in front of you and the projector is behind you. Agree with me or not? Okay, you are watching at the movie or you are watching at the projector of the movie? You are looking at the movie. And the movie is actually coming from the projector or from the screen? The movie is coming from the projector or from the screen? The movie is actually coming from the projector, but you are not looking at the projector, you are looking at the projected. You're getting it? You're looking at the projected. Likewise, all phenomena, they are like, your mind is like the projector, and all phenomena, they are like the projected. They are like the movies on the screen. Nothing is really coming from the screen. Everything is coming from the projector. You're getting it? Okay. Now, the next 1 week inquiry should be, how is it that our mind is projector and the world is projected? You're getting it? How is it that the world is projected? The world is like the movie screen on the screen. And how they are all coming from our mind. This should be the next 1 week inquiry. Okay. Now with that in mind, say the movie, if I tell, the projector is the subject. Analogy-wise, the projector is the subject, the subject, and the object is what? Object is the screen or the movie, right? So the movie is the object and the screen is the object. Say the movie. Now we as someone who have been to movie theater and knowing how the movie, the mechanism of the movie projection, screening, if I ask you, and you being already introduced to subject-object, if I ask you the movie that you're watching, is that coming from the object or coming from the subject? Subject, not your mind, the projector. What is your response? Huh? Exactly. If I tell you, do you know how the movie screening works? You'll say yes. So this movie which you are watching, is that coming from the screen or is that coming from the subject? What is that subject? What is that subject? The projector. Very good. Okay. But while the movie is purely coming from the projector, the subject, not from the screen as the object, right? And the Buddha said that the world with which we're interacting is like we are watching a movie. And this movie of the world is all coming from the projector, like your own mind, right? And then don't take it blindly. We must learn how that is happening. We must learn how that is happening. Okay, with that in mind, while you heard that the Buddha said that all phenomena, they're like dream, they're like movie projection. But when you look at this flower, when you look at the things around you, do you see them as like dream or they are solidly there? They are solidly there. This is the ignorance. This is the ignorance. This is the meaning of seeing things as objectively real. This is what to be discarded. You're getting it? You're getting it? We are seeing things as, oh, it is, so this pen is moving on its own, not from my side, not from the subject, it's from the object. You look at anything around you, you see things as from the object. That is known as objective existence. Perception of things as objectively real. And that is mistaken. In the dream, say you dream of being in, how many of you been to Lhasa? Lhasa, Tibetan capital? Even I myself, I've not been there throughout my life. Lhasa. Okay, imagine you are in front of Lhasa in the dream, right? And then you are seeing Potala Palace, you are seeing every single step taken to the Potala Palace, you are seeing the people around, you see people doing a little bit of local business, and then you are seeing people with their, like the hairs on their body, all the details, and then all of a sudden, Lama Sopa Rinpoche comes. Hey, you are dreaming, right? In the dream, and Lama Sopa Rinpoche comes, right? And he says, hey, be careful, be mindful that you're dreaming. Oh, Rinpoche, how is it possible that every detail is my dream, right? My dream meaning my mind should be creating it. But how can I create each detail of this, each single hair of the body, each single bricks of the Potala Palace? How can I do all these things, right? Then you wake up. He's very right. When you wake up, however minute the details were in the dream, they were all nothing but created by own mind. My mind was the subject, the projector-like subject. You're getting it? Likewise, the Buddha said that we are in a dream right now. We are in the dream of ignorance. We are in the dream of illusion right now. Right? This is the dream. And this is what creates. And how many of you have difficulties in your life? All of us, we all have some difficulties this way, that way, all difficulties. The fact that we have difficulties, which means that we live in the dream of illusion. We live in the reality of illusion. We live in the reality of dream, right? We have not yet woken up. Okay, don't say that I disagree with you. Simply say that, how can I know that? This is the proper approach, right? Don't say that I disagree with you. What is the proper approach? How can I know that? How can we know that? This should be the proper approach. This is so important. This is so important. So therefore, the Buddha is referred to as the awakened one. The Buddha is referred to as the awakened one from the sleep of ignorance. This is so important. Okay.